Okay.
Make this
Yeah, for your... this one, חנינא בן יחזקאל, שהיום יום עיר סייט, right? ששן שבתות יהיה צורה בצור החיים.
I know about her.
Was it? Oh, 26 ER. תהיה צורה בצור החיים. The Torah will be for his Neshama.
Say it a little bit louder.
So,
He didn't do a month. He's like, Lama.
anyway, so what the series is going to be, I guess, a little different. It's called MYTanya.
MYTanya.
Why is it called MYTanya? So we're actually going to be using two svarim. We're using the Tanya and the Mesiyat Yesharim. Now, if you go to most places, they'll throw you out if you bring that up.
Wow.
You mix Tanya with someone else, you're dead.
You're going to take the Tanya and you're going to take the Mesiyat Yesharim, and you're going to put them two together and make a nice sandwich.
Okay.
So,
What is this one? Explain the Tanya? Is this a
no.
It's a different author.
It's a different, but it's completely
But
all
it's almost the same though. It's
Same
like,
theme.
It's the same.
well, it tells you
how
how
to
to
connect
live.
to Hashem. It's either one
Right.
in love or one in fear.
Well, so the truth of the matter is, no one's fear. We're not out to scare anybody. You know, we're all good people. We don't want, you know,
Save that for Kippur.
yeah.
We
So
all hate.
yeah, so we're not scaring anybody. But so what we'll do is like this. We'll start from first the part from the Mesiyat Yesharim, and then we'll jump into the first chapter of the Tanya. So we'll see how it works. Wasn't planned yet. So okay, so we see that the Mesiyat Yesharim begins the first title. The first title of the first chapter is called Chovat Adam. He's going to explain to us, right, what the man's duty is in the world. What man's duty is in the world. I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
Because then I'm going to jump to the Tanya, and he's going to explain to you what the man's duty is in the world. Okay? So he brings like this. He says, it's interesting that the word Tanya begins with the word Tanya. So we're starting. Tanya. Tanya, we learned in a Masechet of Gemara Nida. He says like this. Mashbi'im oto, before a person comes into the world, okay, they make him take a swear, a vow. Mashbi'im oto. He says like this, Tiyeh tzaddik ve'al tiyeh rasha. Uh-oh. You got to be a tzaddik, and you better not be a rasha. So, first of all, that's a very daunting idea. That already explains to us that we are under a contract. Right? We're under a contract to a... We're under a contract to perform the mitzvot. Maybe you heard that the mitzvah is called all mitzvot, right? It's called the burden of mitzvot. Well, the truth of the matter is, in one hand, it's a big burden. 650 mitzvot is not so simple. And why is it called a burden? So the Times will explain to us in a minute, but a person is comprised of two parts. One part is called the nefesh bahamit, which is an animalistic side. Nature, it's a natural side. It's the side of him that is interested in eating, sleeping. Again, think about anything that is in the natural course of business, we'll call it. Physical. Eating, sleeping, mating, drinking, talking, just all of these things. Then you have another component of the person, that's his spiritual side. Now, it's interesting to note that Hashem made it so that the spiritual side cannot exist without the physical side. Let's test that. Take a person who fasts, he wants to refrain from all physicality. After a few days, he's dead. That's just the way it is, right? So, spirituality has a very interesting thing. It's contingent upon physicality, and in fact, why is that? Because Hashem wants to show it how to teach others. Spirituality itself can live in its own existence, and that's what the neshama does. Before the neshama comes down here, he was floating around. He liked it, what he was doing, no problem. Why does the neshama have to come down to this world to teach it a very important lesson? If you want to be like God, God gives, right? And you don't see God. Right? God gives, we call him, he's a Baal Chesed. What's Chesed? What's true Chesed? The true Chesed is, if a person comes to somebody, knocks on his door, leaves a chicken outside and runs away. That's true Chesed. Why? Because there's no embarrassment. The poor person who's going to get this chicken, yeah, it's nice if he gets the money and he sees the guy and he gets Shalom Aleichem to the guy. But think about the embarrassment he's going to feel when he's going to receive this chicken. In this scenario, he receives a chicken. Not only did he receive a chicken, but he received a full chicken that was already ready to eat. Bigger chesed. And he did it without getting embarrassed. So all of these components allow the receiver.
With the chicken, actually, if it was already ready,
Yeah.
he has to show him that he's there, because otherwise, the
kosher?
outside, you can't eat
Oh,
the
the
chicken
chicken.
if you don't know.
Well, let's say it stands with let's say it's stamped with the OU.
Sealed, right,
Yeah, it's
right,
sealed. It's sealed. OU manufacturing thing. Okay. But in that same idea, right? That's how the neshama has to be in this world. Neshama, and we're gonna skip now back to Shavim. We're gonna skip to a part that's called. He gives us a idea. 1 second, let me just find it real quick. I'll read it to you from here. He says, if the person's main goal was physicality, okay? לא היה צריך מפני זה שתנופח בו נשמה כל כך חשובה ועליונה שתהיה גדולה יותר מן המלאכים עצמם. He wouldn't have needed such a whole lofty soul. If it's only for physicality, what do you have to bring down this spiritual side to it? Let the physical side run its course, and that's it. The fact that you are imbued with a neshama already is an indication that, hey, wait a minute, there's something more than just physical, than physicality. So what's he says? כל שכן שהיא אינה מוצאה שום נחת רוח בכל עינגי זה העולם. It gets the neshama derives no pleasure from this world. No pleasure from this world. Furthermore, he says, והוא שלמדנו זכרונו לברכה במדרש קהלת. And this is what the rabbis taught us in the Midrash Kohelet. This is a very famous Midrash. Listen to this one. וזה לשונם. This is the exact language that they use. וגם הנפש לא תמלא. And the soul doesn't get satiated from this world. Why? Mashal lemad avodome. What's compared to? Is the famous mashal le'iruni shenasa bat melech, to a caveman that got married to a princess. Okay, caveman gets married to a princess. Im yavila kol ma sheba'olam. He now takes her back to the cave right after the Sheva Barachot. We're going back home. What's the home? The cave. Yalla, that's it. Now she comes with all of her goodies and
he drags her by the hair.
And here's the kisei kala. He puts her kisei kala inside the cave. You know, we can remember your days of old when you were a kala. And she says, "What's here?" So he says, if he gives her all of the best things, what's the best things the caveman's going to give her? You know, a few mice, a few. Yeah, here's a stick. Oh, here's a good bed made out of camel's skin. Yeah, it's a good. She's going to look at it. If you feel kol ma sheba'olam. אינם חשובים לה כלום, שהיא בת מלך. She said, I'm a princess. Are you kidding me? You know what I slept on? Do you know what I used to eat? I had 5 courses of different types of meals a day. This is what you're bringing me, a little... Why? It's the best, the porridge. It's the best porridge that we have in the town. She looks at it, what are you kidding me? Get out of here. Why? Because of where she came from. כך הנפש, so too with the soul. אילו הבאת לה כל מעדני עולם, אינם כלום לה. Even if you give her you give her a Ferrari, you give the neshama 2 villas, you give the neshama everything in this world. She says, what are you giving me? This I want? Get out of here. I had, when I was upstairs, I had so much more. This is what you're giving me? Lama? Shehi min ha'elyonim. Because that's where she was from a different country, called Shamayim. וכן אמרו בתים זכרנו ברכה, על כורח אתה נוצא ועל כורח אתה נולד. You were forced to be in here. So if we're forced to be in here, now so we'll jump back to Tanya. He told us, he starts at Tanya. We were given a shvu'ah. You had no choice in this deal. God says, now why? So God knew this was the best thing for the neshama. The best thing for the neshama. I will explain the neshama and the goof relationship in the terms of what the way I saw it one time brought down in one of the notes on the Ramchal in that Tuvunot. He says that Avram and Sarah is the epitome relationship of neshama and goof. We know that Abraham gave to Sarah and Sarah gave to Abraham. But Sarah, it's interestingly, we just called the mashal Aruni Shenasa Bat Melech, right? The princess. Sarai, which was her original name, means princess. Princess. Okay? Avraham means that he's the Av Amon Goyim. So we see already here. Here's the central figure of physicality, Avraham, He is the king of all the goyim. He has the money and the wealth, and here he brings Sarai, the princess. The princess. And the princess has to do something. So we see that the Chumash tells us that Avram got his tent ready. It says, one of the Psukim says he gets his tent ready. Interestingly enough, it says, Ohala. It's supposed to say Ohalo. Right? His, oh. How are you? No.
Malacha, come on, join us.
You want bagels?
Huh?
Have a bagel.
Breakfast in a bottle.
So it says he got his tent ready. But interestingly enough, it says Ohala, her tent. Why did it say her tent? So it says, the Rashi says that he hurried up and got her tent ready first, and then he got his tent ready. Okay, that's good. That's good musar for Hatanim, right? You always get her tent ready, and then you worry about your stuff. But what that was trying to show us is exactly what the Ramchal was telling us. What was he trying to do? Here, I'm going to give you everything. She says no. What she needs to do, what the neshama needs to do, is to sacrifice from her own self. And look how it works. Sarai, that was her original name, the princess, sacrificed from herself. Instead of having a yud in her name, right, which represents the loftiness and the kedusha, right? Yud, it always represents chokhmah, because chokhmah to us in this world, we understand maybe an iota of it. That's why it's yud. Yud is a very small letter. It's a dot. To us, chokhmah is, oh, you teach us about cars and money and things. That's already the rest of the letters in the alphabet, because that already has different surot, and that we can start to understand. But if you tell us chokhmah, it's a very small thing. It's very hard to get to. You need to get to it.
Bar mitzvah boy. Oh, he's going upstairs to his bar mitzvah?
No, it's a friend of his. No, it's a friend of his. So, Yom Barach. Good.
All right.
Meaningful.
Sure you say that to a policeman or a fireman. Tell people that, yeah.
I'll try.
So,
I don't know about Lower Marion.
so look what she does. She takes the yud of chokhmah and she says, listen, if I leave chokhmah just in the olam elyon, just to the neshama, right? Just to the neshama, then what does the goof get? So look what the neshama has to do. She sacrificed from herself the yud, and she said, I'll take half kedusha, half chokhmah Hashem for myself, and half the chokhmah I have to train the goof in it. I have to give it to the goof to like we always said, Asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav. Why do you say that word? Asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav. So it's brought down the Iyun Tefillah. Rav Schwab says that the goof itself gets a kedusha, gets a holiness. That means that a person's body, a regular goof, kashriyut and all that stuff, great. He says is different from a goy, because a goy has no tchiyat metim. Why? Because tchiyat metim has to be resurrected. Now the body can only be resurrected if it was purified. How do you purify the body? With mitzvot, right? With mitzvot. So the more mitzvot a person does, it's actually, and that's why the Gemara Makot says, Ramach evarim keneged ramach mitzvot aseh, shasa gidim keneged shasa mitzvot lot aseh. Right? So your body actually even corresponds to the number of mitzvot. Okay? All that being said, look what she does. Sarai becomes Sarah. Avram becomes Avraham. So they each got a hey. So the purpose of the neshama was to sacrifice from herself. She sacrificed her yud, her chokhmah, her beauty upstairs, and she came downstairs and said, "Let me give to the goof." She says, once you do that neshama, then you understand what it means to be a godly figure. That means to give by chesed. She doesn't need to be down here. That's what the Ramchal was telling us. She has no purpose down here. But now that she's coming down here, she's going to be tested, and that's why we have to go back to Tanya. That's why she gets a shvuah. She has to make the swear. Ti tzadik, teh tzadik, ve'al ti rasha. What that exactly, that seems like a superfluous statement, right? Be tzaddik, and don't say teh tzadik, right? So, just as a heads up, right, that's superfluous. You explain it, go.
You can be a tzaddik and also
Right.
at the same time.
Right.
To just do good is not, you have to also fight your bad.
Right.
By doing good doesn't mean you fight it.